Hello and welcome to another episode of the Chaos Chronicles.
Navigating the randomness.
I'm Jess.
I'm Connie.
And today we are hopping back into New Moon, which for you guys has been a week. For us has been like a month.
It's been a little while since we recorded that.
Today we're going to be covering chapters 17 and 18.
Yes, but before we get too deep into those, just a reminder, you can find us on social media. We have expanded our social medias. They are listed in the description. Please check them out. We would very much appreciate a like and subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. We love seeing you. We are back at my place, but don't worry, I'm sure we'll have plenty of more episodes at Jess's house with her fun, Halloween or holiday setups.
Yeah, just wait till Christmas.
Yeah, Jess can freaking decorate the hell out of her house when it comes to Christmas.
Love Christmas.
It's impressive.
It's fun. It's festive.
Fun. And you've got the perfect house for it, too.
I know. The house just gets so cozy.
Especially that front room with the fireplace and like the walls are red, but they're not red. What was it? Terracotta?
Terracotta, I think. They're like a rusty brick red.
Yeah, you'll see it in the videos.
Yeah.
It's a very warming red.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, distracted. But now we should probably summarize real quick before we jump into 17, 18. When I say real quick, I mean real quick. If you want more details, check out the videos. We've got an entire playlist on YouTube, courtesy of Jess. But long and short of it, Bella and Jake almost kiss. It's charged. It's tense. It's cringy. But it is what it is. Except as Bella realizes, if I turn my head, it'll be a kiss. And like, that's me moving forward. Jacob stiffens because
Bella stiffens.
Bella stiffens.
Because Edward pops in her head saying to be happy.
Oh, I think I blocked that. Edward says, be happy. Bella stiffens. And I remember Jacob also stiffened. Not that stiffened.
When he opened up the door.
We opened up the door. But then also he saw Carlisle's car. Bella sees it too. So Jacob starts driving Bella's car with Bella in it away as Bella's going, no, turn around. And Jacob's going, not a chance. I got to get you out of here. And they argue. And eventually Jacob hops out of the car telling Bella, all right, just don't kill yourself, or like, good luck, don't kill yourself. So Bella drives back. She parks at her house because they were in front of Bella's house. And she looks at Carlisle's car and she's just wondering, which of the Cullens is here? I hope it's a Cullen. She walks into the house and then someone turns on the light. And now
it wasn't her.
It wasn't Bella. We get to find out who it was.
Yes. So chapter 17 is Visitor. Bella's knees trembled and almost fell when she saw Alice. Bella slammed into her and gave her a hug. Alice was both confused and relieved to see her. Bella has tears streaming down her face, and she says that she was so happy to see her. When Bella looked up, Alice was straining her neck away from her, and she pressed her lips together firmly, and her eyes were pitch black. It had been a while since she had been hunting. Alice tells Bella that she was in such a hurry today. Also, how was Bella alive? Bella was taken aback, but then realized why Alice was actually here. Alice saw Bella jump. Alice warned Edward that this would happen, but he didn't believe her because Bella promised him. Edward has also told her to not look for Bella in the future, and Alice promised that she wasn't keeping tabs on Bella, but she just saw her jump without thinking, and then she just got onto a plane. She knew that she would be too late to help Bella, but maybe she could help Charlie. Alice started going off on Bella, asking what happened and how could she do that to Charlie, etc., etc. Bella interrupted her thought and told her that it was recreational only. She saw Jacob's friends cliff diving and it looked fun. She didn't think about the storm and how it would affect things. Alice didn't buy this answer, but Bella continued saying, why didn't she see Jacob pull her out if she saw everything else? Then Bella tells her that Jacob is strong and sort of a werewolf.
She just spills that secret?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Really fast.
Yeah, she doesn't keep. Bella, you don't spill people's secrets that aren't yours. She didn't spill the Cullen secret,
No, she straight up refused to say anything.
but then she goes and spills Jacob's. Jacob, you do not. I say you do not deserve Bella, and the fact that you don't deserve that awfulness.
Bella does not deserve Jacob.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So Alice says that this explains the smell, at least. Alice then asks how long this has all been going on. She is worried since Jacob is a young werewolf. This could be very dangerous for Bella, and she shouldn't have been left to fend for herself. Bella informs her that not all vampires left when they did, and Alice asks for her to tell her everything about Laurent and Victoria, so she does. At the end of Bella telling her everything, Alice murmurs, quote, "Our leaving didn't do you any good at all, did it?" End quote. Bella laughed. That wasn't the point. This wasn't for her benefit.
Go, Bella. Be sharp.
I know, but also this is not on Alice.
No, I mean, there's definitely a misdirected rage there. Also, though, I can see why she would be like, you were my friend and then you left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be mad too.
Yeah. Alice says maybe she shouldn't have intruded in on her life, and Bella pleads for her to not go. Alice tells Bella that she looks awful, and not just because she almost drowned today. Bella asks what did she expect. The phone rang, and Bella suspected that it was Charlie, but it was actually Jacob checking to make sure she wasn't dead. When she answered, he then abruptly hung up. Alice notes that he isn't excited that she is back, and Bella then continues to go back to begging Alice to not leave and says that she could stay with them. Charlie would love it. Charlie's not too happy with the Cullens right now, though. I'm just saying. I mean, yes, he's fine, but like...
He's fine, but also, like, in Charlie's position.
I would be pissed.
But I mean, Charlie has a really good relationship with Alice because of how much she helped
know.
Bella after Bella was injured.
I get it. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Bella's not exactly of sound mind at this time.
Or any time.
Good point. I'd say especially now.
So Alice tells her she needs to go get some clothes and needs to hunt immediately. She can be back in an hour if Bella promises to stay out of trouble for that long. Bella agrees and keeps herself busy and waits for her to get back. Alice was back in under an hour, and Bella asks if Edward knows that Alice is there. He doesn't. Edward actually isn't with the rest of them. He checks in every few months. Alice was in Denali visiting Tanya's family. Jasper stayed back because he didn't approve of Alice interfering. Charlie arrived home and walked in with his eyes down and shoulders slumped. Oh, I forgot that. That's what we were coming back to. Bella walked over to him, and he didn't see her until she grabbed him in a hug. He embraced her back fiercely. Bella tells him that she is so sorry about Harry. Charlie tells her that he is really going to miss him. His wife Sue seems dazed, and Sam is staying with her right now. Charlie starts to walk again, and Bella tells him that he'll never guess who's here. He asks if it's really Alice, and then he asks if Carlisle is also here. Alice informs him that it's just her and gives her condolences to him. Bella asks if she can stay, and he says of course. This will actually be nice for Bella to have some company while he's helping Harry's family. Charlie gives Bella one last hug and then starts for the kitchen where Bella left food out for him. Bella and Alice go over to the couch, and Alice grabs Bella in a hug. Bella asks what Carlisle thinks of her being here, but he has no idea that she's there. He and Esme are hunting, and she has no intention of saying anything to Edward because he'd bite her head off. Bella woke the next morning still on the couch and could hear Alice and Charlie talking. Alice asks how bad things really were when they left. Charlie tells her that he thought he was going to have to hospitalize Bella because she wouldn't eat, drink, or even move. Charlie had Renee come to take her back to Florida in hopes that being with her would help. But once they started to pack, she woke up with the vengeance. She threw her clothes everywhere and screamed that they couldn't make her leave. She then started crying. He thought that this would be a turning point, but she went back to school and work, ate, slept, and did homework. She would respond if someone asked her a question, but she was empty. She wouldn't listen to music anymore. There were a bunch of broken CDs in the trash. She wouldn't be in the same room if the TV was on, and she didn't read. She was avoiding anything that reminded her of him. They couldn't really talk either because the smallest thing would make her flinch. She was alone most of the time and wouldn't talk to any of her friends. Quote, "It was the night of the living dead around here. I still hear her screaming in her sleep." End quote. Alice apologizes, but Charlie tells her that it isn't her fault. She was always a good friend. She has been better since hanging out with Jacob, and she has color back in her cheeks, light in her eyes, and she's happy. He's about a year younger. Charlie tells Alice that Jacob is about a year younger, but I think things may be moving in more than a friend direction. Charlie tells her that Jake is old for his years and has taken care of his father physically like Bella took care of her mother emotionally. This has matured him, and he is good looking and is good for Bella. Alice agrees it's a good thing that she has him. Charlie sighs and says that's an overstatement. But even with Jacob, he sees things in her eyes occasionally and wonders if he even knew what kind of pain she was actually in. It's not normal, and it frightens him. She acts as if someone died. He isn't sure if she will get over it. Charlie reminds Alice that he is fond of her and he can see how happy Bella is, but he's worried about what this will do to Bella, this visit. Alice apologizes and said that she's worried too, but she wouldn't have come if she had any idea what was going on. Charlie tells her to not apologize. After all, who knows, this might be good for her. Charlie then asks, suppressing his anger, if he is coming back. Alice reassures him that he doesn't even know that she's there. As far as she knows, Edward was in South America. Charlie snorted and said that's something at least, but hopes that he is having a good time. Alice tells him to not make assumptions. The conversation ended, and Bella decided that this was a good time to make some noise and wake up. Charlie left to help Sue with the funeral arrangements, and Alice stayed and kept Bella company. She talked all about her family, minus one. Alice actually found the asylum that she was in and discovered that her name was Mary Alice Brandon, and she had a little sister named Cynthia who had a daughter who was still alive. She didn't find much about her parents, though, just her parents' engagement, her birth announcement, and death, and she even found her grave. The next morning, Charlie dressed in his suit and left quietly, trying not to wake the girls up, even though neither of them were actually asleep. Alice asks what they should do that day once Charlie left, and Bella decides on getting the house back in shape to make things easier on Charlie. Alice kept her company while she did. The doorbell rang as Bella was cleaning the bathroom, and Alice looked perplexed and worried. Bella shouts, "Hang on," and hurries to rinse her hands before getting the door. With frustration in her voice, Alice says she has a good guess of who is here, and she thinks that she should step out. This has to be Jacob or one of his friends. She realizes at that moment that she can't see werewolves and is very annoyed. I mean,
Yeah. I would be too if I was her. I'd be like, excuse me?
I can see everything but werewolves.
Oh, so it's like in Twilight where Edward's like, I can read everyone's mind but Bella's. So they all get to be a little frustrated.
It's good for them.
It's good for them. Yeah, welcome to feeling human. Sucks.
Oh gosh. Yes. Bella assures her that she doesn't have to leave, but Alice laughs and says to trust her. It's not a good idea to have her and Jacob in the same room. Quote, she kissed my cheek swiftly before she vanished through Charlie's door and out the back window, no doubt. The doorbell rang again. End quote, and end of chapter 17.
All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
And we're heading right into chapter 18.
Yes. I know, this might be actually a quick episode this week.
Hey, we'll take it.
Yeah. Chapter 18 is the funeral. Okay. Nope. We'll get to it.
Huh?
I just don't. This is where Eddie Boy comes back. Well, I mean, kind of. This is the start of it.
I was going to say, so
He
now,
doesn't come back, but like...
my memory is differing where I'm like, am I misremembering something? Am I remembering something from the books? We'll see. So now at this point, I'm along for the ride with you guys.
This is the start of the plummet down, Connie.
The Edward slide, if you will.
In my opinion. My opinion.
The Edward decline.
Yeah. So Bella sprinted down the stairs and opened the door to see Jacob. He was 6 feet back from the door and had his nose wrinkled. His hands were faintly trembling as well. Bella could feel the hostility, and Jared and Embry are in the passenger seat. They must have been afraid to let Jacob come alone. Bella tries to say hi, and when Jacob doesn't answer, she grits her teeth and says she's not here. Jacob hesitates and asks if she's alone and can he talk to her for a minute. Bella says of course and tells him to come in. Jacob looked at the blankets on the couch and asked in a sarcastic tone, "Slumber party?" Bella responds with the same tone, "What's it to you?" He wrinkles his nose again and asks where her friend went. Bella tells him that she ran some errands, so what does he want? Jacob's arms are quivering and he didn't answer but moved into the kitchen. His eyes are darting everywhere. Bella asks what's his problem. He doesn't like having to be here, but he has a few questions for her. Don't worry, he won't be long. They have to go to the funeral. Bella tells him to get over with it then. Quote, I was probably overdoing it with the antagonism, but I didn't want him to see how much this hurt. I knew I wasn't being fair. After all, I'd picked the bloodsucker over him last night. I'd hurt him first. End quote.
Well, at least she's able to recognize that.
Mm-hmm. Something.
I'm honestly surprised she recognized that. Just given the track record.
Which is why I had to put it in here.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take it.
She recognizes it, but... yeah. Jacob asks his questions, and Bella responds that Alice is here, she'll be here for as long as she wants to be, and she knows about Victoria. Jacob nods and tells her that she should know that they can only watch their lands with a Cullen here. She will only be safe in La Push, and he can't protect her here anymore. There was a final question that Jacob asks in a cool and quiet voice. Were the rest of them coming back? Bella finally tells him no, and now he can run along and tell Sam that the scary monsters aren't coming to get them. Jacob...
I mean... It's funny. I could see myself saying something like that.
Yeah.
Also, like, Bella, he's a hot-tempered werewolf. You heard about Emily's situation. You're like, I don't care. I'm going to push buttons. Like, self-preservation. We know she has none. Never mind.
Nope.
Ooh.
Jacob says okay in a calm tone. He started to move from the kitchen, and Bella slumped against the counter and buried her face in her hands. Bella expected Jacob to be gone, but then he called her name in a troubled voice. Bella moved her hands and she was crying. Jacob's calm expression was gone, and he walked back to her and ducked his head to be closer to the same level as Bella. And he asked if he broke his promise again. Bella mumbled, "It's okay, she started it this time." Jacob tells her that he knew how she felt about them. It shouldn't have caught him off guard like that. Bella wanted to explain to him about who Alice was, but something in her said no, this wasn't the time, so she just said sorry. Jacob tells her to not worry about it now. She's just visiting, and when she leaves, things will go back to normal. Bella asks if she can be friends with both of them at the same time, and Jacob shakes his head and says no, he doesn't think that she can. Bella asks if he'll wait and still be her friend even though she loves Alice. Jacob tells her that he will always be her friend no matter what she loves, and then promises. Jacob embraces her, and Bella leans against his chest saying this sucks. Jacob agrees, then sniffs her hair and says, "Ew."
Sorry.
She smells like them too. Too sweet, sickly sweet, and icy, and it burns his nose. I expected a reaction out of you, but not that reaction.
I'm sorry, because I'm just, as someone who is big on smells, I'm just imagining I would probably do the same.
Mhm.
I just imagine like someone is friends with someone who wears a shootload of that god awful Axe body spray.
Oh gosh, yep.
And like you're around them and you go to hug them and you're just like, oh, ew. you smell like 13-year-old desperation. Tell me that's not an accurate summary of 13-year-olds and Axe body spray in general.
It is. It is.
I've never smelled a good Axe body spray.
There was one. I can't remember what color it was. Trust me, I had 3 older brothers. They all went through this phase.
It's a rite of passage. Girls had the Victoria's Secret perfumes and the Bath and Body Works.
Yeah.
It is what it
like
is.
the whole basement just smelled like Axe, like just a different whatever. One of them, I want to say, back when, I don't even remember, late 2000, like 2008, 9,
I'm
whatever.
seeing the blue and the red Axes.
It was the gold one. Which was the gold one? I don't remember, but I have the smell. That was like the only one that I actually liked was the gold one.
If I smelled it, I could probably place it.
Oh, I'm sure you could.
Yeah. But I'm just thinking, oh my God, those poor teachers. We'll get back to the story in a second, but we can all agree this is more interesting.
Yeah.
Those poor teachers in middle school, because all of us basically had what could amount to a chemical lab in our lockers, boys and girls alike, of just assorted perfumes and lotions and spritzes and
I don't think I would be able to be a middle school, high school teacher because, I'd have a migraine every single day of my life.
Oh my God. I remember, even at that age, there was times where I'm like, I can't walk near this section of the locker bay because it is just so strongly smelling. But I also know that my locker had at least 4 or 5 body sprays until my locker kept getting broken into by my friends, and then they would steal it and then spray it everywhere. So then I stopped bringing them to school. But yeah, a lot of, oof. I look back on that stuff and I'm like, wow, concerns.
A lot of concerns.
A lot of concerns. Maybe that's why I don't like to have a lot of stuff in my backpack or in a locker ever. Yeah.
I could see that.
A lot of glitter. Everything had glitter in it back then. Every spray.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How did we not destroy our clothes with all the ethyl alcohol and that stuff? I don't know. Anyway, back to New Moon.
Yeah. Yeah. Bella thought that was strange, but when Bella tells Jacob that Alice didn't like the smell of him either, Jacob decides that they must not smell good to the other.
I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are enemies.
I guess down to a molecular level.
Yeah. Jacob whispers that he'll miss her and hopes that she leaves soon. Bella tells him that it doesn't have to be like this, but he sighs and says that it does. But since she loves her, he can't get anywhere near her. He'll My run-on sentences will be the end of me.
You're good. Trust me. I have fucking textbook pages that are an entire sentence. Judges are the worst about that.
Oh, okay. I
Got it.
deciphered it. We're good. But he sighs and says it does. But since Bella loves Alice, he can't get anywhere near Alice. He's probably not even tempered enough to handle that. Sam would be mad at him for breaking the treaty, and she wouldn't like him for killing her friend. Bella tried to recoil from him, but he tightened his arms and just says that they can't avoid the truth. That's the way that things are. Bella says she doesn't like the way that things are. Read page 410.
God, I fucking hate that cover. Every time I see that cover, for those who can't see, Edward is the moon.
I'm not looking.
All of it.
Is it on camera? There you go.
It's so bad. Tell me, like, no, I
You're
prefer
welcome.
my new moon cover that's up there. The old, the rose with the blood on it.
Yeah, well, Connie, you know what?
Is that a rose? I don't know what that is.
This was $3 at Half Price Books.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not judging you. I'm judging who decided it was a good idea to make that cover.
I find the cheapest versions of these books and I say cool.
Yeah, no, this is not one to spend the money on a collector's item for. I cannot emphasize how much. No.
Okay. All right, you ready?
No, but let's go.
All right. Jacob freed one arm so that he could cup his big brown hand under my chin and make me look at him. Yeah, it was easier when we were both human, wasn't it? I sighed. We stared at each other for a long moment. His hands smoldered against my skin. In my face, I knew that there was nothing but wistful sadness. I didn't want to have to say goodbye now, no matter for how short a time. At first, his face reflected mine, but then neither of us looked away. His expression changed. He released me, lifting his other hand to brush his fingertips along my cheek, trailing them down to my jaw. I could feel his fingers tremble, not with anger this time. He pressed his palm against my cheek so that my face was trapped between his burning hands. Bella, he whispered. I was frozen. No, I hadn't made this decision yet. I didn't know if I could do this, and now I was out of time to think. But I would have been a fool if I thought rejecting him now would have no consequences. I stared back at him. He was not my Jacob, but he could be. His face was familiar and beloved. In so many real ways, I did love him. He was my comfort, my safe harbor. Right now, I could choose to have him belong to me. Alice was back for the moment, but that changed nothing. True love was forever lost. The prince was never coming back to kiss me awake from my enchanted sleep. I was not a princess after all. So what was the fairy tale protocol for other kisses? The mundane kind that didn't break any spells. Maybe it would be easy, like holding his hand or having his arm around me. Maybe it would feel nice. Maybe it wouldn't feel like a betrayal. Besides, who was I betraying anyways? Just myself. Keeping his eyes on mine, Jacob began to bend his face toward me, and I was still absolutely undecided. Do I continue?
You do. But in my head, nope, saving comments.
Okay. The shrill ring of the phone made us both jump, but it did not break his focus. He grabbed his hand from under my chin and reached over me to grab the receiver, but still held my face securely with the hand against my cheek. His dark eyes did not free mine. I was too muddled to react, even to take advantage of the distraction.
How is he holding your...
So I'm imagining, like, you picture them, right? Like
Yeah,
before, yeah.
unfortunately.
So he is maintaining eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming the receiver is like right here. So he's like, I'm making eye contact with you.
And that part I get, but I'm like, how is he like? Is he like
He's still
grabbing her face?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, because if he's doing one of these, I'm like, different book. But if he's doing one of these,
I'm assuming
free.
it's like the
Yeah, but you can like, okay. Maybe I've just read enough books that I'm broken.
We're broken, Connie.
We're broken. So are you if you got that. Welcome.
To continue. Swan residence, Jacob said, his husky voice low and intense. Someone answered, and Jacob altered in an instant. He straightened up, and his hand dropped from my face. His eyes were flat, his face blank, and I would have bet the measly reminder of my college fund that it was Alice. I recovered myself and held out my hand for the phone. Jacob ignored me. He's not here, Jacob said, and the words were menacing. There was some short reply, request for more information, it seemed, because he added unwillingly, he's at the funeral. Then Jacob hung up the phone, filthy bloodsucker. He muttered under his breath. The face he turned back to was the bitter mask again. Who did you just hang up on? I gasped, infuriated. In my house and on my phone. Easy, he hung up on me. He? Who was it? He sneered the title, Dr. Carlisle Cullen. Why didn't you let me talk to him? He didn't ask for you, Jacob said coldly. His face was smooth, expressionless, but his hands shook. He asked where Charlie was, and I told him. I don't think I broke any rules of etiquette. You listen to me, Jacob Black. But he obviously wasn't listening. He looked quickly over his shoulder as if someone had called his name from the other room. His eyes went wide and his body stiff, then started trembling. I listened too, automatically, but heard nothing. Bye, Bells, he spit out and wheeled toward the front door. I ran after him. What is it? And then I ran into him. As he rocked back on his heels, cussing under his breath, he spun around again, knocking me sideways. I bobbled and fell to the floor, my legs tangled with his. Shoot! Ow! I protested as he hurriedly jerked his legs free one at a time. I struggled to pull myself up as he darted for the back door. He suddenly froze again. Alice stood motionless at the foot of the stairs. Bella, she choked. I scrambled to my feet and lurched to her side. Her eyes were dazed and far away, her face drawn and whiter than bone. Her slim body trembled to an inner turmoil. Alice, what's wrong? I cried. I put my hands on her face, trying to calm her. Her eyes focused on mine abruptly, wide with pain. Edward was all she whispered.
Now I remember.
Sorry, Ruby.
Oh,
it was so nice. It was going so well.
Also, this is my own personal point here.
Bella.
But actually, no, this one's on Jacob. This is my own personal little, I already said that part. But like what drives me nuts about that is the whole like rushing to get out of there. You push into Bella. You end up knocking her down. You don't help her up. Like that for me,
He's in a panic though. He's trying to get the frick out of there because he smells Alice.
You know, and you're right. I don't have that same biological extreme reaction. At the same time though, like I can't, if I care about somebody, I could not, do that without like helping them up, saying sorry. Like even if it's a real quick, like yanking them up to their feet and then running, like that just, that's a me thing.
I know he did. They just had a conversation about like if Alice was here, it wouldn't be a good thing because he wouldn't be able to control himself. So they just had that conversation. So to me, I'm like, I understand.
True.
But I understand your point of view too.
Yeah, I'm applying the human standard here, which like as humans, as I assume we all are, unless there's one or two dogs or other pets listening. If so, woof woof, meow meow, fish noise.
Blub blub.
Blub blub. There we go. And if I just said a slur in any of those, I'm sorry. But like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Because who you are in times of anger, extreme anger or stress, how you treat those that you care about and love, that says a lot about who they are as a person.
In my head, I'm just thinking, if I were Jacob in that moment, I'd be, and I'd like, caught the, just pissed off from Carlisle calling, and Bella being like, how dare you, blah, 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 like irritated from that. All of a sudden you smell a vampire and you can't control yourself and you're panicked because a part of you is like, I want to kill this vampire. But then the other part of you is like, but I love Bella, so I can't kill the vampire, so I got to get out of here before the vampire comes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not saying this to like sway you, yes. But that's just my train of thought.
Okay, so my standard is the human standard. We're going to operate, yes, I understand it better on the book, but from a human standard, buddy.
Human standard, no.
No, that would make me immediately stop liking the person. If I was in Bella's situation,
we're not friends anymore. We're not talking.
No, like I would be like, nope. The only
number deleted.
The
gone.
Only thing where I'd be like, it's excusable to completely knock someone you care about out of the way and like not help them up is if you're running to literally save a child or someone else from great bodily injury or death.
That's fair.
That's like the only thing in my mind that allows that. Which is a weird hill to die on, but here we are.
We are here. Oh, the things that the Twilight Saga does to us.
Not what I was expecting.
No. No, but here we are.
Here we are. Props to you for getting through the barrage of the cringe fest there.
You're welcome.
Also, I do got to circle back real quick before we go on. I'm just imagining a hormonal werewolf dog, so uber hormonal male, who's having a moment. I'm sure if we look down, maybe there'd be a tent. We don't know. But like a moment. And then he's got that husky voice as he's answering the phone. Can you imagine Carlisle on the other end being like, I've been alive for 300 years. I know what's behind that voice. And what?
My mind did not go that way.
Anywhere near that, go that way.
Yep.
See,
oh gosh.
I don't know, but I've had to do so much. Well, just like you have with cold calls. When you have to do so much with someone over the phone, like I'm very big on noticing a tone, any type of tone, good or bad, when someone answers the phone. So like, I would pick up on that.
I'd be like, I interrupted something. I'll call you later.
Right? I'd be like, there's a time and a place to take phone calls. This is not the time.
I was about to say, Jacob, why did you answer the phone?
Right? Unless he's sensing Beza.
We're both doing it now.
Oh no. This is not rum and coke. It's just Olipop. But unless he was sensing that Bella was hesitating, which I got to circle back on that. I'm sorry. Anytime I have ever kissed someone, ever, like, it's not, you're not deciding as it happens.
No, your
decision is made before that.
Your decision is made. Also, like, the eye contact, if I was Jacob, I'd say, like, she gave me the green light.
Yeah.
100%.
100%. Like, I'm reading this from Jacob's perspective.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I totally see where he's like, she's not pushing me away. Like,
she's not saying no.
She's not saying no. She's not doing anything, but she's not looking frozen in panic. So I get where he's coming from on that one. Mm-hmm. We know what Bella's thinking, but like, I don't know, just hearing that entire thing where she's like, oh, he could be my Jacob. I'm like, no, I don't like that. You either decide if someone is or isn't one of your people, whether it be friends or chosen family or lovers. Like, you decide that. You don't tippy-toe into... No.
Red flag on Bella.
Red flag on Bella.
I love the aggressiveness that you put into it.
I can't just slow do it. There has to be aggression with it.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm ready to continue to
yes,
the rest
because
of
I
it.
could keep decimating her.
That's why I'm like, maybe we should circle back.
No, don't circle back. Just keep going.
No, circle back to the book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the room started to spin for Bella, and she could hear Jacob's voice furiously hiss out a stream of profanities. Then demands to know what Alice did to her. Alice ignored him and tells Bella to snap out of it. Jacob warns her to stay back, but Alice orders him to calm down. He doesn't want to do that so close to Bella. Bella finally asks what happened. Alice is on the phone with Rosalie and asks why she would do that. She is absolutely fine. It's a long story, but she was wrong. Quote, Alice's voice was very hard and her lips were pulled back from her teeth. It's a bit late for that, Rose. Save your remorse for someone who believes it. End quote. Bella blurts out that Carlisle is back. He just called shortly before she came, but she doesn't know what he said. Jacob resentfully mutters that he asked for Charlie, and he told him that Charlie wasn't here. Carlisle asked where Charlie was, and he responded a funeral. Alice sank to her knees and said it wasn't Carlisle. Jacob snarls at her, asking if she is calling him a liar. Alice just ignored him and said it was Edward. He thinks that Bella is dead. Bella puts two and two together and said Rosalie told him that she killed herself. Rosalie did, and in her defense, Alice believed it, she believed it, everybody believed it, and they all rely on Alice's visions being true. But it is so imperfect, and she tracked him down to tell him that. When Edward called, he thought Jacob meant that Charlie was at Bella's funeral. Bella couldn't understand why Alice was so panicked, but Alice tells her that he won't call again because Edward is going to Italy. Bella shrieked and screamed, no, he can't do that. Alice tells her that he made up his mind as soon as Jacob confirmed that it was too late to save her. Bella screamed that he was the one who left. He didn't want her. He knew she would die sometime. Alice quietly said that she didn't believe he planned on outliving her by long. Bella stood up, screaming, how dare he? Jacob stood up too and put himself between Alice and her. Quote, oh, get out of the way, Jacob. End quote.
Wait, Bella said that to Jacob?
I'm pretty sure Bella said that.
Okay.
Jacob's like, I'm going to protect you. And she's like, move aside.
It's like, no, honey, sometimes if a woman is pissed off enough, you're in her way. You're not protecting her.
No. Bella asked what they can do. Alice just says she doesn't think that she can ask her. But Bella says to ask. And Alice informs her that she saw him going to the Volturi and asked to die. They haven't made a decision yet. If they say no, which they might, Edward's backup plan is to upset the peace in their city, and he believes that they will act in order to stop him. Bella immediately says, let's go. Alice warns her that this is dangerous for both of them. She is a human who knows too much and smells good. They could eliminate them for being involved. Bella tells her that she'll go alone if Alice is afraid. Alice tells her to write a note to Charlie and she'll call the airlines. Bella gasps and Jacob, in a low, gruff voice, tells her that she won't let anything happen to Charlie, that he won't let anything happen to Charlie. Screw the treaty.
Now we're doing good,
sweet.
Jacob.
Good job, Jacob. Bella thanks him, and the note that Bella wrote read, quote, I'm with Alice. Edward is in trouble. You can ground me when I get back. I know it's a bad time. So sorry. Love you so much, Bella. End quote. Short and to the point, I guess.
Charlie would appreciate it.
What? Short and to the point, yes. The other part, not so
No.
much.
No. The short and to the point, yes. The content, no.
Definitely
No.
not.
Can you imagine that in Charlie's situation? You come home from your best friend's funeral, one of your best friend's abrupt funerals, and then your daughter, who you have been wildly concerned about with Merritt for months, writes a note of, hey, I'm going to find the person who hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
Ground me later, bye?
Uh-huh.
I would probably just sit down and be like, what?
I wouldn't be able to react.
No, that's when I'd be like, God, Jesus, take this wheel. I don't know what to do now. Like,
I'm done. I'm tapping out.
tapping out. Someone take over. Possess me for a second. Angels, please.
Someone, anyone, thank you.
Yeah. I'll let you know if we're ever in a situation similar to that. I'm just going to tell you, like, you are me now. Act for me.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
Versa.
Yeah. So Jacob tells her to not go. All the anger was gone from him now. Bella just asks him to please take care of Charlie. She ran to grab some things for the plane, and when she came down, she saw Jacob and Alice in a confrontation at the front door. They didn't notice her return. Jacob is furious and says that she may control herself on occasion, but these leeches you're taking her to. Alice was snarling too and says, quote, yes, you're right, dog. The Volturi are the very essence of our kind. They're the reason your hair stands on end when you smell me. They are the substance of your nightmares, the dread behind your instincts. I am not unaware of that, end quote. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
They continue to fight back and forth, and Bella shouted at them to stop. They can argue when they get back. Bella goes to leave, and Jacob catches her arm and begs her to not go. Quote, his dark eyes were glistening with tears. A lump filled my throat. Jake, I have to. You don't, though. You really don't. You could stay here with me. You could stay alive. For Charlie, for me. Alice revved the engine, and Bella shook her head, tears streaming down her eyes, and pulled her arm free. Jacob didn't fight her. He choked out, don't die, don't go, don't. Bella thought, what if she never saw him again? She threw her arms around his waist and hugged him, burying her face against his chest. He put one of his hands on the back of her head, and Bella said bye, Jake, as she pulled his hand. She kissed his palm and couldn't look at him. She whispered sorry, then spun and ran from the car. Quote, take care of Charlie. I turned to shout at the window, but Jacob was nowhere in sight. As Alice stomped on the gas and with the tires screeching like human screams, spun us around to face the road, I caught sight of a shred of white near the edge of the trees. A piece of a shoe. End quote and end of chapter 18.
Well, decision made.
Decision made.
And I do feel bad for Jacob. Like,
I feel so bad for Jacob. Because he finally, and I think this is why I hate this chapter so much. He finally, and yeah, we're in Bella's head, whatever. Put that aside for a moment, though. Coming from Jake, he finally got confirmation that things could be more, like they were getting to something. And then all of a sudden now, she's basically ripped from you. You're begging her not to go, and she's like, I have to. Going to your enemy, like you hate these people, going back to the person that she just got away from, that she just is finally able to get past, to move on. And
well,
then
as far as he
knows, yeah, like I said, we're staying off of Bella here, but like
I do feel like everything with Jacob is pretty unfair to him, getting thrust into the werewolf thing.
Yeah.
This whole thing with Bella, like one of the things that will hurt most is liking somebody who will not like you back, but it's even worse if they're like giving you mixed signals on it, especially if it's now
this isn't even mixed signals, like she's giving him like the go ahead pretty much.
But yeah, and that's worse.
Yeah.
Like I do feel for Jacob. I'm like, honestly, I don't blame him for just like shifting the F out of there.
No, I'd be like, cool, I'm gone. You made your decision.
Mm-hmm. I would want to run too. I'd be like, all right, physically running, I don't want to think.
Yeah, no. Yikes.
Mm-mm.
Well, that was our 2 chapters for this week. Any final thoughts on either chapter?
I can see why Jacob stands would love these chapters because you're getting a lot of that angst. You're getting the, oh my God, there's like a legitimate potential here.
Mm-hmm.
But
I know, I remember reading this. I was getting so excited, so amped up. I'm like, hell yes. And then the phone call came and I was like, no, back it up. No.
what I want to know is like how he got it as Carlisle. I'm wondering if Edward
Said
probably
it was
said,
Carlisle.
yeah, because Charlie, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I'm like, oh yeah, I don't think Jacob ever really talked to any of the Cullens besides Edward.
No, and he wasn't going to remember his voice from the 2 interactions they had.
The 2 very, very brief ones.
Yeah. No.
No, that's valid.
So, yeah.
Oh, what do you think of these 2 chapters?
I hate it. I hate it. Guys, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. But like it was like up. Like I was like, all right, Bella's finally like getting to the point where she can move on, and then you hit a brick wall.
It's actually interesting. I don't remember if it was part of New Moon. No, actually, I think it's part of the next book, so I'm gonna husha.
Okay.
Actually, no, I think I can say it because it's a deleted scene that like never made it to the movie apparently.
Oh.
But like Bella has like she sees this vision of like what life with Jacob would be like, and like sitting in the front steps with Charlie and a couple other people that I can't talk about yet because we're only a New Moon. And then like the vision ends with 2 dark-haired children, presumably Bella and Jacob's children, just running towards the forest. And apparently they cut it, and I'm like, that's so interesting. And like one of the things, because there's this one random Twilight girl. There's so many Twilight people
online.
There
are a lot of Twilight people.
But like she's the one who does like the actual like break into the books, the movies, like do the literature comparison, not just the hoa like jokes about it. But she had said that there was like a portion because she put a caption or a picture of the actual like screen for it. And Bella is describing it as like it's warm and it's a human like family feeling.
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah. No.
I love Jacob so much, and I understand Jacob fans because I would have been Team Jacob as a teenager. If I was a teenager reading this for the first time, I would be Team Jacob. But now, in the later half of my 20s, I can't be Team Jacob because Bella is awful. So I can't be Team Jacob, Connie.
That's the real maturing, is recognizing that the female lead is awful.
It's bad.
And we're not saying Edward's great either. To my memory, he gets better in later books, but like,
yeah, okay.
I know it's kind of like, you're all just messy, but messy deserves messy. So if the 2 messy ones want to be together,
whatever,
go for it.
They deserve each other, Connie.
If only it was like that in real life. But I always find that like some of the nicest people end up with the messy people.
Well, yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
That's what your young 20s are for.
Unfortunately.
God, how are we going to do that with our kids, both boys and girls?
Wish us luck.
Yeah. And wish us luck with the next chapters, which we will catch you on next Saturday.
Yes. Yeah, I believe next week is going to be a big, it is. Next week we're going to be doing 4 chapters because I hate them. So I smushed them.
Okay.
Your face, I'm like, I smushed them.
And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's just the fact that you're like, I hate them. I'm like, there is nothing but truth in those eyes there. Yep.
I hated it so much that I could not. Guys, I had to read it, then take notes on it. I cannot torture myself further. Sorry if you were really looking forward to those 4 chapters. We still talk about it, but just very brief. So tune in next week for the very brief next 4 chapters.
Very brief, but very painful.
It'll be an episode.
It'll be an episode. We usually save that for Wednesdays, but it'll be an episode.
But until then, make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms. They will be linked below. We have too many and we're just not going to rattle them off anymore.
Nope. And most of the handles are at Chaos Chronicles Podcast. That's Chronicles with an S, but a couple of them are not. So
Or some iterations of that. So
yes. So please check below and we will see you next time.
bye.
Adios. God, it is just so cringe.
Blech.
Ugh. There were so many fanfics of this. I don't even think I could bring myself to read that. No, I know I could not bring myself to read that.